Hey everybody! As I had promised, I will be starting Bible study today, and yes, I was just reading, which is why I'm wearing my glasses. So let me just give you guys a quick rundown of what this is going to be. Every week, hopefully every day, I'll be able to do a chapter a day. Today I actually did 2 chapters because chapter 1 covered a bit, but chapter 2 went a bit more in depth. Genesis, I'm speaking of, and it wasn't chapter 1 wasn't that long anyway, so I just figured I'd do both chapters and discuss them. So what I do is I read first. Then while I'm reading, I will jot down little things and like interesting facts that I discovered, or the names of places, and then I Google them, find out if they still exist, what they're called these days, etc., etc. So I have my notes. So let's get started. Genesis chapter 1. It literally speaks about the creation story, how everything started. Day 1, it is said, well, everybody knows Genesis 1 verse 1, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. Right. So, day 1, God created night and day. And day 2, he separated the heavens from the earth, because it is said that the earth was without form. It was basically, earth was just one big void, right? There was nothing in it except water. It was dark and empty. And so God created day and night first, and then he separated the heavens from the earth. He made the earth, the plants and the trees in it. That was day 3. On the 4th day, he made the sun and the moon and the stars. Chapter 15, I believe, where it speaks about how he made he made 2 lights, and he made the lesser to rule over the night and the greater to rule over the day, which would be obviously the sun and the moon. And it says that he created the stars as well. And then day 5, he created the fish and the bird and the sea. It says something. Day 6 was when he created cattle and human and man. And then day 7, he rested. Now, chapter 1 is literally just a rundown of the creation. In chapter 2, it goes more in depth about how he created man. So the heaven and the earth and all the hosts of them were finished. So yeah, 6th day he finished, make everything. It describes how he made man and how man was formed, dust and air and etc. That's chapter 2 verse 8. So if you want, I'll just post what it says here. In verse 6, it speaks about rain, because it says that there was no but a mist went up from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. Rain. According to my interpretation, earth in Genesis refers to the ground itself, so not exactly earth. And then while Eden is what we refer to as the earth. So Eden was the entire, this is my interpretation by the way, Eden was the entire earth, because in Genesis chapter 2 verse 8, it says the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put man whom he had formed. So eastward of Eden, it doesn't, in the scriptures it doesn't specify and say that Eden was one place in the earth. It just said God made trees, he made this, he made that, and then he moved man eastward of Eden. So I'm thinking that Eden is the earth, and then the Garden of Eden would be where Adam was placed, research, I realized that Eden was probably in California. The Garden of Eden, according to Google, was in Havilah. According to Havilah in the Bible, i.e. California on Google or a place. But then reading further and doing further investigation, the rivers which were spoken of, the first 4 rivers that were created, Euphrates, Pishon, Gihon, and there's another one, I didn't write it down. The first one flows in Iraq, Turkey, and Syria, which is, in Asia. Pishon, apparently they haven't pinpoint an exact location for Pishon, and then Gihon is said to be the Atlantic Ocean. Okay. So or you can read that reference was made in chapter 2 verses 11 to 14, and then the land of Cush, which is where all of these rivers apparently started, is said to be in Iraq or Saudi Arabia. So in verses 19 and 20 is where you see where Adam names the cattle and the birds, etc. And then verse 24 and 25 is where he and Eve had sex. Verse 24 to 25. Therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh, i.e. sex. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. Now, first of all, before y'all get confused, Adam was not the one who was speaking here, or he would not be saying they. There's a part where God called up Moses into the mountain. Remember, he went away looking all young. When he came back, he was like all gray and stuff because he was in the presence of the Lord. God was the one that showed Moses the creation story, which is why it's written in third person and not from a first person perspective, because Adam didn't write the Bible. So let's just get that out there. All that misconception. Adam did not write Genesis. Moses did. He's giving the account of what he had seen, of what God had showed him, and which is why it's in third person. So anyways, guys, that's it for today. Leave your comments. Tell me if you have any like different location based on like the rivers and the, what else did I speak about? Where Eden is. If you have any more like speculations, or if you have a different location as to where this is, it'd be much appreciated if you leave a comment and tell me what you think. Tell me what I need to improve on. I know I'm really stuffy today. I don't know what's been going on with my sinuses, but I'm so sorry if it sounds like I'm talking up in my nose. It's probably because I am. So tomorrow I will do chapters 3 and 4 and probably chapter 5, I'm not sure. So this commences a chapter a day or 2 chapters a day. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.